I think we're up, brother. I think we're up. Why don't you hop over onto the YouTube channel quick?
Yep. It says upcoming. There we are.
Now, can you hear us? Can you
Uh,
hear us if we talk?
it's it's got a delay.
Yeah, it's got a delay.
Yep. Yep. I just clicked off it, so we're good.
Okay, so we're up.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Do you want me to keep it up or?
you can if you want to, but
All right. I'm ready if you're ready.
Relax, the keyboard is off and the press box is closed, but the mic is just getting warmed up. Welcome to the Hockey Writers Inc., a show where the writer is fresh off the presses and the ink is not dry. Join your host, Lance Green, the guardian of the blue paint turned writer, and co-host SteelFlyers, as we bring you all the latest on the Philadelphia Flyers.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hockey Writers Inc. live for the 2024 NHL Draft. Sitting in with me, Mike Sod is the main man, the cohort, the host with the most, the guardian of the blue paint turned writer, the editor and chief of SteelFlyers.com, Mr. Lance Green. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great still. Excited. This is an exciting time of year for me as well as you. We cover this all year long with Prospect Watch, our other podcast here. So, this is an exciting time. We've studied these individuals that are about to be, these young men that are about to be drafted, tediously over and over again, watching so much tape. It's, sickening and borderlining on divorce sometimes for us. So, to get the chance to sit here now and watch these young men that we've interviewed, some of them, as we'll talk about as they get, selected, and I've written about over the course of the last couple of seasons now leading up to tonight. It is just, fun for me, man. This is Christmas right here.
I was just going to say
Seeing
Christmas,
the
right?
future of the NHL and, whomever your NHL team is, who could be the future of your team leading you out there on the ice. So, San Jose is on the clock, of course. That pick is all but laid out here. But, Macklin Celebrini is going to be that player that they select, and they got a lot of holes. I mean, when you're talking about needing to pick, who could be best the best available team player you out there, they need to, right?
Yeah.
For good reason, it's going to be Macklin Celebrini here. He is a top line producer, a guy who drives the play, a guy who does everything right. Amazing shot, a sniper. He can make plays when he doesn't have the puck, or if two or three guys are on him, he's going to make a play to somebody else. Just incredible hockey IQ. This kid is going to be a star in the NHL. Of course, he played for Boston University this past year, and amazing, numbers there. 64 points in 38 games played. That is a 1.68 points per game average in the NCAA for
I
a
know, man.
freshman. Amazing.
So I'm here to tell you, right? So this is the first time we've done a live show like in a really, really long time. So thank you all for joining us. So you have to give me a second here so I can post this out, because I didn't get a chance to do this, right? Okay, right. So, but I definitely agree with you with Celebrini. It's funny because about 10 months ago, you were looking at me and you were like, "Hey, man, so who are some of the players that you are going to be looking at this year?" And I went, "Well, Celebrini, yeah, I'm going to be looking at him." And and
Others.
and Lance was like, "Yeah, and so is everybody in the world." And I went, "Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't realize." And there was a couple other names that I had on my list that we were looking at that we've watched on Prospect Watch, that we've interviewed at Prospect Watch. So we've watched a lot of these guys, and I'm here to tell you, man, I can't wait to see how this day is gonna change the lives of these players forever, right? Because you don't ever you only get drafted one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be tough for some of these young guys, making the transition, turning pro. But this is what they've lived for. This is the day they dreamed of, right? Being selected to an NHL team. For most of them, it probably doesn't matter whom they're drafted to. They're just going to be happy to be drafted tonight and ready to work. And such is the case for San Jose, who's on the clock here. Finally getting going under new management there, and taking Will Smith from the national development team last year with a number 4 overall selection was an easy choice in my mind. Just a
Yeah.
phenomenal player, a guy who's going to you're going to be able to build around, right? As they're doing now, with potentially, taking Celebrini here.
And you know what else too? But their trade that they did, they also snagged the 11th overall pick as well.
Yes.
I also think that they have. For something in my mind says that they have something else in the later rounds, like a 25th or something stupid crazy like that for something, right? Didn't they get something like that as well?
Well, just no, just that's what they traded back to be able to move up to. They had 14 originally, and they wanted to move up and did. Other teams we know of and have been hearing that they've been trying to move up and haven't been able to. But San Jose got it done. They get the first pick, and now they're going to have the 11th pick. So they must have somebody in mind around that time period that they want to make sure that they get that wouldn't have potentially been there, at 14. So
Or whatever, you know what I mean?
yeah, well, I mean that's a pick that they just traded away to be able to move up to 11. So the Sharks are going to be busy. They have a lot of work to do because they've been a bad team for a long time. And, if you look back at their draft history and the guys they've drafted, minus Will Smith, there's not a guy on here that I'm jumping for joy about for years. Maybe, your Ozzy Weisblatts that played with Prince Albert.
That's a good name, yeah.
I liked him. Ryan Merkley is just getting going from the 18 draft. Really, he's not like a huge name. You really have to go take it all the way back to Timo Meyer and what has been able to do in his long career now. But that was all the way back in 2015 that they had a knock your sock off pick there that really did something for them over the course of the last 10 10 years or more.
Exactly.
So I think they're moving in the right direction. I like Tristan Robbins from 2020's draft as well. I thought he was a good pickup, and he should be coming
Yeah.
along now
Yeah.
for them. But it's been a long time coming for the Sharks. I'm glad that somebody like Chicago, didn't luck out or Anaheim and luck out and beat them, because San Jose was by far the worst team in the NHL last season. So
Right.
they should be, gifted the first overall pick, because they need it. They definitely need it to, it's a neat franchise. I mean, the Sharks and the whole culture there is cool. Nice weather. I mean, I don't know why more free agents wouldn't want to go there, and potentially you bringing in a guy like Celebrini is now going to change that sort of thing.
That is instant change. I mean, look, I think it's a foregone consensus that even if the number one pick is not going to be Celebrini, if say San Jose goes somewhere completely whatever, you know what I mean? If they somewhere go off the reservation, you know what I mean? If he's not the number one pick, I still think no matter who he lands, he's going to be an impact player, almost like Bednard was for Chicago this past year, like his first year, like making it out of the gate. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm talking about. And with everything that we saw, how he's played at Worlds, and how he was able to, take that responsibility, drive the play, you know, be the alpha dog when needed, I think is another thing in his favor for somebody so young to be that pertinent with the puck. You know what I mean? I definitely think that's going to instantly vault San Jose into a much better alignment out west. Because they do have the 11th pick as well too, and that's pretty. There's man, this is a defense heavy draft, and that's something that they seriously need in San Jose. I mean, they need everything out there, but that's one of the things they really need is defense. So I think that's one of the reasons why they made the trade, so they could try to hop and get a defenseman that they're looking at or whatever. If they don't get the person that they want for the number one pick, which, okay, really, if you're not getting Celebrini at 1, you certainly ain't getting him at 11.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, 1 is a foregone conclusion, pretty much. I mean, I'm surprised Celebrini wasn't just walking around in teal all night, already. Anything's possible. But this draft is considered, who's going to be taken after Celebrini, and there's some names out there that are just, some amazing players. There's a few in this draft. It's defense heavy for sure. You can get right hand Ds all the way into like the second round. And they're going to be amazing top 4 defensemen in NHL. I truly believe, because this is so heavy. But with that being said, these couple offensive talents, they're really, really talented in this draft. And I think a lot of teams, are going to think twice before, like your Chicagos, your Anaheims, and Columbuses are really going to have a hard time passing on some of these, elite level offensive talents.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they've been drafting those players because they've been bad for years now, and they've been drafting all those players, and they have them in their system already that are able to score. But to go along with that, you need somebody to keep the puck out of the net and, play good, strong defense too. Somewhere along the lines, I think a amazing offensive talent is going to fall to hopefully the Flyers. who we cover on a weekly basis here at the Hockey Writers Inc. So, that is.
I was wondering when we were going to get to that.
That is, I mean, we got a lot of picks to go before the Flyers pick. Although Danny Briere has been, if you guys read my article today, has been on just a tangent trying to move up. He has chips, to be able to do so, and multiple firsts this year, multiple firsts next year, potentially multiple seconds this year, depending on what Columbus decides after the first round, as far as the pick that is coming back to us from the Ivan Provorov deal. So, a lot of talk has been done. He really wanted that top 4 pick from Columbus, that 4th overall selection. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
But in that sense, they're on the trade floor right now, and if Columbus really wants to gain something more than just this 4th overall pick, potentially 2-3 first round picks has already been offered. It's just a matter of which ones that the Flyers were willing to give up. And, I hear there's other teams in there as well. So,
we'll see.
It's going to be interesting.
Pick up on that.
It's going to be interesting. But yes, Danny Briere has been looking at, Columbus at 4. He's supposedly been in talks with Utah at 6 and the Senators at 7, and previously to this, Buffalo at 11. But now the Sharks got that pick. So, there's movers and shakers. I hear
I
Montreal has been out there at 5.
Yep.
As well, being asked about whether they would be willing to get there. I don't know if the Flyers necessarily were in talks with them, but we'll have to see here, guys, because man, I think with the news, like I said in my article today, with the news of Mishkov coming over early, that big risk that he took in selecting him 7th overall last year.
And here we go now. San Jose is approaching. They're approaching the bench.
Yeah.
With their jersey in tow, and look, this is going to be the foregone conclusion of Macklin Celebrini getting selected here as the number 1 overall pick, and of course they have to go through all the pomp and circumstance of this whole thing and whatever. And I didn't mean to cut you off here.
No, this is going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna get a draft pick here in a very short time here, and. Of course, I think we all know who that's going to be, and the San Jose Sharks select. Dun, 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 dun. Yay, thank you. Congratulations to Florida Panthers for winning the Stanley Cup. Yeah. Which, by the way, man, we're going to probably talk a little bit about that too, because that was some good hockey. Oh, they're going to get Joe Thornton to come out and make the announcement. Oh, there you go. The old man with the beard and all. Stepping out on stage, going to give the announcement. That's how you do it, folks. Joe Thornton announces the number 1 pick. Dun, 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 dun. Well, duh. Macklin Celebrini, number 1 pick goes to San Jose Sharks. Okay, yay, look, foregone conclusion. Kid is just out of this world. He's playing on a great university team, and although they didn't, they played in the Frozen Four. Right, and they weren't victorious, but he made a good showing and played really well. Watched him play amazing hockey at World Juniors. I mean, the kid's got skills, man, and I think this is going to be a major shift for San Jose. You're definitely going to see it tilting a little bit more towards that side of things now with this huge culture change shift of player that's going to come to them. Do you know what I mean? So, congratulations to ye olde Sharks for number one draft pick overall, Macklin Celebrini. Do you still think that? Look, even if the Flyers can't get up into the top 10 or whatever, if they stay at 12, right? Do we think some of the guys that we think are going to be there are going to be there? Do you think?
Well, I mean, it's just the first pick here, but we'll have to see where we go from here in the next couple of picks, and that's going to really tell us whether
Yeah, where we're going to be.
where
Yeah.
we're at with everything. Our team's going to go with those rare right-hand shot defensemen that are out there in this draft, or are they going to go the traditional home run and pick these first, second line, potential players here for forwards group? Who's going to be taken, where if they want to win a championship, I think they take some of these defensemen off the board quick, fast, in a hurry. I mean, the Blackhawks, how many, times are they going to go, heavy in Connor Bedard, and Oliver Moore was a great pick last year at 19 for them. And, they got Frank Nazir in the system as well from, Team USA. They've hit these guys over and over again on the offense, and I want to see what they want to do here. Potentially, Ivan Demidov is there.
See,
He's really the second best player in this draft, but with all the happenings in Russia and now. I don't want to get too political on here. I don't want to state sides either way, just actual events that are going on right now in the world, with Russia being pretty peeved with the United States about them helping with, supplying bombs and everything now. So to their people that they're in a war with. So, there's all kinds of threats going around right now, and it's a scary time. So, like we seen last year with Michkov falling because of all this, to the Flyers, are some teams going to
you think
shy away from them?
Well, okay, but see, then we've also had what's happened with the Flyers, where Michkov came back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that right there is going to save face for Ivan, in that sense, and maybe get a couple of teams saying, hey, well, it worked out for the Flyers. Well, the Flyers took a chance, but the Flyers haven't been dumpster divers for the past 20 years like the Sharks and some of the, Columbus,
that's true.
Everything like that. You know what I mean? So if they strike out one year, they still have, multiple years in a row, 20, 30 years in a row, they were in the playoffs. So, they're new to this rebuilding thing, and everything. So, with that, I think they got a little leeway there. But
for sure, Blackhawks are now on the clock, and as far as what some of the pundits are saying, as far as they're saying that Ayrton Levshevnov, right, is another
Belarus defenseman that played with Michigan State.
Yeah. Right. He's another one, 6'2", 205 pounds. Right. Is in that
Right-hand shot
Is
defenseman.
in, is, that's what I was just gonna say. Is in that category of right-hand shot defenseman, right? You know what I
I
mean?
think he's the most NHL ready defenseman.
Yeah.
He's from Belarus, but he's wisely came over not this past season, but the season before and played in the
Michigan
USHL,
State.
and then this year transferred to Michigan State with the NCAA and really stood out as clearly one of the best defensemen in that league as well. I think it's a guy who could step in day one and play top 4 minutes in the NHL, first game of the regular season. And I can't say that
Not
for
feel
other
out of
guys.
place.
Maybe one other guy in this draft right now that in Zeev Bunim from Denver that could do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But see, uh, 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 Shevnov has like 20 pounds or so on him and 2 inches, right? And so and I just, but yeah, I mean, definitely either one of those players would be very pivotal things here as
I
well
think
too.
that's what Chicago should do. Now, does that mean they're going to do it? Probably not. They're probably going to look to a high-scoring, point-producing player to go alongside, their Calder-winning,
Mm.
Connor Bernard, who,
Well,
set the
yeah,
league on fire and rightly so
Calder
was
Trophy winning.
right was everything that Chicago thought he
Was
would
gonna
be,
be, yeah.
in that first year.
He
And
was what they thought he was gonna be.
right,
And here
so
comes Chicago
that
now, man.
I
They're
think they're going to look for somebody to go with him and somebody who could potentially step in right away and do that. But I got to say, I don't know because Ivan's got a year on his contract in the KHL left, so he can't
still
come over. And I don't think he's necessarily ready. He didn't play in the KHL. He
they,
played in the MHL last
yeah,
season.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I mean, he scored 2 points per game in the MHL, but it's not the top level in Russia hockey even in the KHL.
They
So,
got Bednard to announce the pick for the Blackhawks.
well, I mean, rightfully so. His new line mate here
You
in
know.
just a second. So,
Let's see. Oh, it is. It is
ah,
Leshevnov.
right.
It
They
is
go
Leshevnov.
defense. They go defense.
Wow. Wow. Okay, we thought we were going to get a line mate, but maybe not, on the forward
Maybe they're
line, but
wising
maybe
up
on
a
the
little
back
bit.
end with him.
Maybe they're wising up finally a little bit there.
Well, they got some pretty good people running the show up there now in Chicago again. Right? Right? Isn't it the Bowmans up there now running the show up
That
there in
is
Chicago?
it is a good move for Chicago for sure.
All day.
I like that pick right there.
Yeah, me too.
That guy can step in at day one and be on that blue line for them.
Exactly.
And that's what they need. They need some youth there. If you really look at their lines and what they have, it's Connor Bernard, Taylor Hall, and then after that, it's nothing too scary. Seth Jones, obviously, is a big name that they paid big time money for, and I don't think.
But yeah, I'm with you.
I don't think they honestly should have.
Yeah.
But that's a great move for them.
I do. I agree. That's a super awesome move for them. 38 games played this past season, 9 goals, 26 assists for 35 points. And I'll tell you what, man, he's one of those types of guys that's going to be, hey, he says defenseman, guess what? He's going to play defense. You know what I mean? So
well, this guy is an elite skater, and what I mean by that is he can move in every direction. All right, his mobility is second to none in this draft along the blue line. There's some better skaters, but this guy, defensively, he's going to be able to help cycle that puck on the power play.
Yep.
And and
Or
work
at
it
least play on the
around
point
there.
up there. Yep.
Yep. I mean, he can move front, back, side to side, and flawlessly. And I think that is what's really going to help them and get that. They got the young guy and McDavid, or I'm sorry, McDavid,
Bernard.
Bernard, that can really put the puck in the back of the net for them.
But he's
And
also 200-foot responsible though too.
right. So while he's doing that he's gonna get back and he's gonna help their goaltending, which is not the greatest either. When you got Mrazek back there, old Flyers goalie there for a short term.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We got the Ducks on the clock right now. They're on the clock for the Ducks, and this was. See, I always thought that the Flyers were going to look at like trying to trade with a California team, not necessarily a Columbus team. I thought that they were going to try to go more of a California team, maybe not necessarily San Jose, but maybe Anaheim and or L.A. or you know what I mean?
They already had that system, that trade in place that they did with Columbus, so they're kind of familiar in that sense. But I don't think Columbus is going to be taken like they were for the Provorov deal. I don't think they got what they thought they were going to get from Provorov deal. They were kind of displeased with that. So I think if they were going to make another deal with Philly, they were gonna take them for everything they got. And
wasn't exactly offering everything either.
Right. Well, we offered a good bit, but
I agree.
I'm happy they didn't do that deal. But if you look at the Ducks, have been movers and shakers. They got a good young core. Leo Carlson, now Cutter Gauthier, of course, from the Flyers. We won't go there. Trevor Zegras, who's been linked in a lot of trade chatter as of late.
Agreed.
They have such depth that, that is up front. McTavish, who they selected pretty high as well. So they've went offense as well for a long time. And
I think they're going to go defense.
Well, that's the thing now. Like, maybe,
well, we're going to find
their
out
guy
here.
was just picked here. So
we're going to find out here in 14 seconds now. They're making their way up to the
Do they go after yet another center when they already have Zegras, McTavish, and Carlson? Do they go after Caden Lindstrom, big-bodied center, or do they go, Zane Parak or Zeev Bunneman from Denver in a defense? I think it would be defense in this.
Or they could. I agree. I think it's going to be defense, or they could also go with T. Jaginla as well too.
I don't think T. Jaginla is going to be taken that high.
You don't think so?
I don't think he's going to be taken that high. I think he's going to be more 8-9.
Okay.
Overall.
Okay. I was just because he was another one, or that Consta Helenius.
No, he's going to go later. He's going to be in the teens probably when the Flyers, are around. I don't think that's why they want to get rid of Zegras, because they have depth at center. There's not a big scoring winger in that top few players out there. Like you said, Iginla. I don't know why everybody's so high on Senek as a big body kid, power forward. His name has shot up the draft board lately. Maybe Berkeley Catton, but
Beckett, Seneke from the Oshawa Generals, right winger. So they did go offense, man. They did go offense.
That's crazy right there, because this kid has jumped up so much. I was just saying his name as the pick came in here, but that guy is
He's
worked on his in the combine and everything like that. Yeah. He has gained so much for himself in that thing. These guys were pawning all over him, and I just can't see it. Honestly, Steel, I think that is not a great pick. I mean, the kid had 27 goals and 68 points. Great. But, there's other names out there that I definitely would have took
higher than him.
Higher than him.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
And I think that is a last minute, oh crap, our guy is gone kind of pick.
That sounds like it.
I think they wanted to go defense there, that they should have went defense there. They, a defensive defenseman is a big need for them, or a two-way guy, and they just lost that.
Yeah. But they also have another pick, though, in the first round. Do they not? Ooh. Do the Ducks not have another pick in the first round?
That is a big time. No, they don't pick again until 31st. They got Edmonton's pick.
Well, 31st is another pick in the first round.
Yeah, but I mean, you had the 3rd overall pick.
No, I'm with you, but they still have another first rounder. So I mean,
hey, it's good for the Flyers. That means a name that they like is still on the board for another pick. They're still probably trying to call people as we speak here.
I'm hoping so. It's funny though. I'm imagining that once we see our first trade, I don't know. Like last year, we didn't see the first trade until what, like second round or something like that.
Wow. Man, that's a jump. I wouldn't have done that, but a lot of teams were high on this guy, so they had.
He showed out really well at the combine, man. He did really well at the combine.
Well, great. He can do push-ups and sit-ups and stuff and pull-ups.
I'm with you.
That's cool, but he's a good player. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but geez, man. Like,
what do you think the Blue Jackets are going to take since they turned down the offer from the Flyers? Right, because they're on the clock now with the 4th overall pick.
Yep, right? and that's, they got Adam Fantilli, 2023, 3rd overall, and he's now playing in second line minutes for them. They got Cole Sillinger there. Yeah. They got Kent Johnson. They got Johnny Gaudreau. They got some offensive guys.
You think they might go defense here?
They got Provorov. I mean, on defense.
Yeah, but
they traded for him.
They also they got Zach Wierenski. As well, on the team. So I mean, there's plenty of.
Caden Lindstrom's out there, but I think a guy, an offensive defenseman like a Zane Parekh from Saginaw, who scored 33 goals and 96 points this year as a defenseman, a right-hand shot defenseman. They might be interested in here.
Yeah.
They've taken some offensive guys. They got some young players that can score. Honestly, for me, they need more veteran help up front. They got Boone Jenner, Nylander. Like, they got some younger forwards up there. I think they need to. It's interesting.
I think it's either a Caden Lindstrom or a Zeev Bruham. I mean, either if they go offense, it's got to be. I think it's going to be him, or if they go defense, it's either.
It's got to be Lindstrom or I think Parekh in that sense. I don't think Zeev is. He's got 50 points, okay. But I think they want to see point scorers. They like that. They struggle to play well against big teams. So,
yeah. Well, we're going to find out here in about. Now, as they're making their way up to the bench or the Sphere, I guess now they're on stage at the Sphere. So, okay, whatever. So, Columbus Blue Jackets turned down a huge trade offer from the Philadelphia Flyers with a first round 12th overall pick and then a first round in 2025 and a roster player turned that down to select. This is what I'm going to be interested to see. If they turn down this deal to select some, well, we'll see who they select here. By the way, thanks everybody for hopping on. Lance, if you want to post this out, that'd be great. Out onto the Facebook groups and all that stuff, and let them know and clue them in and whatever. That would be great. But thank you everybody for joining and hopping on and catching us here. This is our first chance at doing a live show. It's also a good test run, I think, too. What do you think, Lance?
Yeah, this is interesting. On the fly, Caden Lindstrom is the pick. Another center, big body center.
Which is one of the ones we selected. We thought that they would select Caden Lindstrom or if they were going to go defense, you know what I mean? But I think this is a good selection for them, man. I like this kid. I think this kid's got some good talent, some good skill. He's got some speed, you know what I mean? And he's not afraid to play.
Yeah, I mean, he got injured this year, missed a lot of the season, came back and had a pretty big year, considering, he seems like a great kid. I know the Flyers liked him.
Yeah.
And he was one of the guys that they were looking to select. But maybe, who knows? Maybe Columbus took that pick and is going to trade it to somebody like the Flyers, after the fact here.
Now that would be interesting.
That would be interesting. Make the selection and then they make a deal after the fact. Hey, I got your guy.
Yeah.
Now let's really talk. Give me what I want.
Yeah.
For him.
I'm afraid to see what they would want for him, but this actually I think is gonna. Johnny Gaudreau is not getting any younger. Let's face it, and his points production seriously dropped off this past year. You know what I mean? And this guy here will be able to come in and make an impact right away, I think. I think the first couple of picks so far that we've seen, the first 4 picks, I think are going to be players, are going to be impact players right away for their teams right away. I mean, we know Celebrini is going to be for San Jose. You know what I mean? But I think Lindstrom is going to be, and as well as Lezhemnov as well, I think are going to be contributors to their team right away, coming out of camp and everything like that, and starting for the team right away. If not, at least for the first couple of games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, more on Lindstrom. Good kids. Good kid there. Good selection. Not my favorite player. Kind of slow in my mind.
Not the best skater.
I don't know. I'm happy another team took him. And the Flyers are, still sitting there with,
some players,
guys
don't
like.
say. Well, we're sitting there with some players that we're interested in still.
Guys like Cole Iserman and stuff are still.
See, you had to go and say it.
Berkeley Catton.
You had to go and
it's still on the board.
Why do you have to go and say that?
Impact players here. I don't think the guys in the Sphere are listening right now to us. Maybe they did, the rest of the year, but maybe
not tonight.
Maybe not tonight.
Of all the nights. Of all the nights of nights that they should be listening, they should probably be listening tonight, I think.
So Montreal is on the clock now at 5. They've let it be known that they were willing to listen to trade offers. I don't know. Last year's draft, I wasn't super impressed by. David Reinbacher, Swiss defenseman. Okay. Just not overly knock your socks off guys since Cole Caulfield. I like Caden Gooley in 2020 that they took. But they really haven't had too many guys in the later rounds come through either, like, yet.
So do you think do you think we're gonna see like I believe you said a Berkeley Catton, or I mean, are we gonna see maybe a defenseman go here for Montreal? I mean, where is
I
Montreal
think
kind
they
of?
I think they would have liked to take Caden Lindstrom there. I think that one of their biggest needs is a if they want to put together a legit first line. I don't think that would include Nick Suzuki. He's a good player in his own right. Alex Newhook they traded for, but you got Cole Caulfield and then Slavkovsky on that line, and to me, having a guy like Caden Lindstrom would have helped them a lot there. Um, so again, do we go back to, defense in that sense? Um, because you look at their defense and it's not Lane Hudson is a good young prospect of theirs. Caden Gooley's there, but taking a guy like Zeev Bunneman here or Zane Parak makes a lot of sense. Sam Dickinson played in London,
I was just gonna
right
say
there.
Sam Dickinson's another name that I would probably throw out there with Montreal, just
Yeah.
because of the London Knights connection as well. But they're marching up to the ye olde bench here to see what's going to happen with the Canadiens de Montreal, as they have their pick, the 5th overall pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. And of course, the pleasantries. I'm surprised we didn't get a guest, because last year they had Carey Price come up and do the first round.
Carey Price is eligible for the Hockey Hall of Fame soon.
Well,
Go
he has
go
to be
figure with
retired
that.
for how many years first, right? So they are going to bring. Oh, they're bringing Celine Dion out to announce the first pick.
I thought she just was sick. Didn't she just have a stroke or something?
Well, she's got I think it's called wasting disease, or
Uh,
or or stiff. Like she gets stiff, or something like something like that. There's something up with that she gets like really stiff and can't move, or something like that. I think is what the deal is with her, which is why she's coming up with a helper here, a guy. I think. So, but yeah, man. By all means, let's. She's got one of the most beautiful voices ever. You know what I mean? So, of course, now we have to do of all the French. The French. Greeting here.
mm.
So let's see. You gonna get this right here? I think they should do this on the second round picks instead of the first round picks. Like what the NFL does. The NFL just has the commissioner says the pick, and then like second, third, fourth round picks all have the guests, the Make a Wish
hmm
folks, the ex players, the ex whatever's. So the pick is in, and she is going to say,
Ivan Demidov.
"Yep, Ivan Demidov."
Well, that's the guy the Flyers wanted. Makes a lot of sense for them, I guess. If you wanted to go to put them in that lineup, he fell, in my mind, quite a bit. Um,
Teammate of
considering,
Mitchkoff, though, but he's not on the same situation that Mitchkoff is on, though.
yeah, Mishkov had three years on his deal at the time the Flyers drafted him. Demidov only has a year left in under contract in Russia. So the Canadians, they're not known for taking Russian players so much, but they have taken a lot of players from outside North America before. They feel a little more comfortable with it than some teams, and they got a great pick. I think that guy will be one of the steals of the draft. I mean, it's hard to say top 5 pick is a steal of the draft, but I think he's going to have a much better career than Senek and Lindstrom. If he turns out to be the player that he most certainly appears to be.
Sure,
That's
23 goals and 37 assists for 60 points. You know what I mean? In 30
over 2 points per game, this season,
in 30 games
playing in the NHL. Man,
okay.
that's a talented young player. He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
Would have went very well with the finishing ability of our star prospect that's already in our system and fellow teammate of his at one time. But now the Flyers
no deal for that. No, that's
now the Flyers are going to have to go and find that next guy.
Yep.
And as it stands right now, Utah, or formerly known as Arizona Coyotes, are now going to be on the clock at pick 6. And what are you going to say about Arizona? They horrible rink. They were kicked out of the rink because they were forced to play in an NCAA rink, playing 5,000 seats arena.
But team is getting better. They have had an improvement from last year, or from the year prior to last year. Okay, and when you get the 6th overall pick in the draft, that's a pretty darn good player. That, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I mean, they got some names now. They got Barrett Hayton. They got Clayton Keller. Who a lot of homegrown talent that they're able to keep there. Your Logan Cooley's is developing now, and Dylan Gunther. Josh Doan is an amazing player. I really, really like him.
I do too, yeah.
He went to Arizona,
well,
to play
that's
there.
Shane Doan's son.
Yep, Shane Doan's son. So, he's local product. They were familiar with. Heck, he was wandering around their dressing room in diapers,
or something like that,
something like that. So, good on them. They're building a nice offense here, I think, and that's why I think they go, defense here.
You think so?
With what's left on the board, I think a safe pick,
right.
Your Zane Parekh or Zeev Bunin. Somebody's got to select these guys. Even Sam Dickinson's there, but Arizona's been known to surprise a lot of people. Maybe they take 6'7" defenseman Sylvia from Russia.
Right.
Amazing skater. Never seen a guy that big skate that well. That is a possibility as well. For Utah, it's hard for me to remember that. Utah, I keep wanting to say Arizona, but interesting picks so far. I like the Canadians pick. I think that I give that an A+ for them.
For sure.
I think Chicago did well in selecting, a defenseman.
We got it, man. So Utah. So Cryptic Cowboy, welcome in. Thanks for joining us, my man. Woohoo! Tell a friend.
Right. Yeah.
So,
very interesting pick for Montreal. They got a great young player.
I agree. I agree.
So it looks like Calgary's settled. I'm hearing they're due to draft at 9. They were kind of willing to listen to some offers, but kind of have settled down there,
Okay.
and are kind of settling into picking who they're going to pick there. Um,
Like I
they've
said,
made
we
a lot
haven't
of
seen any trades yet. We're at round 6 now, and we know that the Flyers were trying to go,
pick six. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, at
So,
least to the 4th. So
well, I mean, there was a lot of, let's face it, there was a lot of trades ahead of the draft here. You know, the Bruins got rid of Allmark and sent him to Ottawa, got Corpusalo back and the first round pick.
yep.
And,
I mean, and a first round pick.
yep, and Calgary dealt, in my mind, an
Markstrom
amazing young player in Magna Payne to the Capitals for a second round pick
or
in
Mangiapane, and
2025,
they also dealt Markstrom, their
right?
goaltender too.
Right? So, and they dealt Markstrom. So they've been trying to get some cap space, and basically trade him for a 2025 first round pick and a defenseman there. Um, the Caps went out and got Pierre-Luc Dubois from LA, a guy who's moved
So there
around
you
quite a
go.
bit there.
There you go. They select T. Jaginla.
Hmm.
Utah selects T. Jaginla.
Wow.
Pick 6, T. Jaginla.
All right. T.J. Ginla.
I mean, we don't even need to. We know this kid has got smarts. We know this kid's got skills. He's got
Yeah.
skating. He's got. I mean, he's got the
Yeah.
family name, and
So
I don't.
was with Seattle Thunderbirds
Yeah.
before last season. Went to Kelowna, uh, and did great things there for them. 64 games played. He scored 47 goals, 37 assists for 84 points. Not just living off his dad's name, right? I mean,
Doing it himself.
Aginla is one of my all-time favorite players. I respect that man so much because, he fought his own fights. He could score goals. He played on a team in Calgary that really didn't give him the pieces that he needed
Nope.
to win a championship ever. He was left to do it all himself, and he did it for a long time and made the playoffs consistently and did stuff like that, but never really was given the people around him to succeed.
I
So,
mean, even when they traded him, they tried to trade him away, and that's still. So here we go
yeah.
now. So we got the Senators on the clock, and um, what do you think they do here? I mean, they need some offense. They also need some defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at 7, we still got guys out there. The defense, in my mind, is still out there. Like we're seeing now, we're seeing that, offensive movement where 4 players in a row have went offensively, and
Not what I was expecting.
not what I was expecting. I was
no.
expecting a couple of defensemen here, but staying true to fashion with the same type selections over and over again, and focusing on offense and never building on your defense is why some of these clubs stay in the cellar.
Why you always see them picking in the top couple of rounds every year. You know what I mean?
So that's why they're always picking in the lottery. Now, Ottawa has a young Brady Tkachuk there. They got Tim Stutzel, Josh Norris. I like the pick of Riley Gregg. He's already, with them and playing. Jake Sanderson, USA defenseman they've taken recently, is playing top pairing minutes for them. They're interested in moving Chichurin, Jacob, 26-year-old defenseman there, which is interesting. They've already went out and got and secured themselves a goalie, which I think they needed to do in Allmark. I'm interested to see if he can still play like he did in Boston, because he definitely wasn't all that in Buffalo.
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true. And he's
and
gonna have
you know,
he's gonna have a
Boston's
much
got a
less.
great core of defense,
I was
and
just gonna
now
say.
he's got a lot less, you know, in Ottawa. So,
Yeah.
you know, in my mind, I think they got to build upon that defense still. And you just went out and got your big name goaltender. Um, do you go out and stick with the trend of, you know, taking Jake Sanderson, a great young defenseman, and trying to square up that defense a little bit
I
more?
think that's what they're gonna do, man. I think
Yep,
that's
because I
exactly what
mean,
they're gonna do.
you're looking at the it's been a little bit of a run of offense now, you know, and maybe they you know see names that they didn't think would necessarily be still on that board by the time it has got to them at 7. You know, a Parak is gosh, a phenomenal talent. Like we said, scoring 96 points as a defenseman in the OHL this year. I think, you know, Jake Sanderson is a good guy that stays back, and you know, getting a guy like Parekh here would be
Yeah.
really nice for them a go guy that's going to rush with that, you know, points and put points on the board. So it's interesting. You know, over the past couple of years, you know, last year's draft was less than impressive in my mind. They dealt a lot of picks away to get pieces. They didn't pick
And
into the
yeah,
4th round last year.
but
And in that they didn't get anybody that I really saw was, you know, outstanding.
right. And so here we go now. They're up on the stage here, and we're getting ready for the Ottawa Senators to make their selection here. And Lance and I both think it should be defense. But you know, we've been wrong before, and we'll see what happens here. I mean, you know, they could do that. Uh, and the name called is dun dun dun. I was just gonna say Yakimchuk, the guy that we were talking about the other day on the show, Carter
Yeah,
Yakimchuk.
I wrote an article about him. I mean, um, big body guy, 6'3", 203, 71 points this season in the WHL. But it's just a head scratcher. If you wanted a right hand shot defenseman who could put the puck in the net, why wouldn't you take a kid who scored 96 points rather than one that scored 70?
I
I
mean,
don't
I don't
know.
know. But we did talk about him. I mean, it's not that. I mean, he's got a lot of skill. He's got a lot of, you know, put the puck in the back of the net. He drives the play. He's a good playmaker and everything else like that. And the guy's definitely got a NHL ready body already with size, and you know he needs to put on a little, you know, 10 or so pounds over the summer and eat some more chicken and rice, and you know, but he'll be there. And I think he's going to be another one of those players that might be, you know, especially uh, for the Senators, somebody that can come in and play. You know what I mean? I always think that at least the top 10 picks of the draft are going to be impact players for their teams for the most part, at least as soon as they come into camp. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I find it really interesting here, Steele. Do the Flyers call Calgary now at 9? You saw their guy in Iginla go, who everybody thought they would draft, right? Because it's the son of Jerome. And now Yakimchuk, a Calgary Hitman kid who's right in their backyard, is now off the board. And that's a guy who they could have been looking at too. And, you know, are they suddenly stunned that neither one of those guys are going to be there for them? Could you call up and say, "Hey, look, you know, I know you just you dealt Magna Payne, and you know, you dealt your goalie. You're going through a rebuild. Like, do you want some extra picks here?" some additional picks and let us jump up, and maybe we give you a second pick, or both first. Do they give them 12 and 32nd to
All
go
right, if the
and move
Flyers
up at
do
9?
move up, who are they picking?
I want Cole Iserman.
That's
all
what.
day.
Okay, I was just making sure we're on the same page, like we've
I
been
want
since.
Cole Iserman.
Yeah, because that's.
Or Berkeley Catton, but
I
Cole
really.
Iserman to me is a record-breaking. He broke Austin Matthews' records. He broke,
And that's who I want. Yeah.
Patrick Kane's records for Team USA. Like, this kid can put the puck in the back of the net. Say what you want about him, but the kid is a scorer. He's a finisher, and we need that. Now let's talk about Seattle here. What does Seattle need? What do they want? What have they done recently?
They've made a couple of deals. They definitely have a new coach, with Hackstall being shown the door. Okay, yeah. So have they selected a new coach as of yet?
I'm not sure. I like some of their players. Their build-up, their makeup is
Agreed.
Good. Eberle is underrated in my mind. I like Yanni Goudry, who they got from Tampa Bay.
Oh, Yanni Gourde.
Yep. And Ilya Torvaldsson, who they picked up from Nashville, was an amazing scorer. And Nashville never really gave him a shot there. I love Adam Larson.
Yeah, another good one.
I think he's very underrated. He's a plus defender in my mind. Man, I don't know. I think they could use some better goaltending, but that's not going to be in the first round.
You don't think we're going to see a goaltender in the first round?
Not in this draft.
Not with what's left on the board. I mean, even if you're looking at a young player that we interviewed, who had a 50 save shutout, in Carter George.
Right.
I
think Seattle goes an offensive defenseman here.
Which is kind of, okay, that makes a little sense.
It goes back-to-back offensive defenseman. And I keep saying his name, but Zane is on the board still. I think they have some defensemen that play defense. They could use one that when it goes out there and puts the puck in the back of the net and would help them on the power play. They don't really have an elite level guy.
Ron Francis and the gang is coming up to the board here, and we're gonna get to see here what they're gonna select here with Ron Francis.
They do well drafting. I mean, Shane Wright, Yager Furcus is an amazing player for Moose Jaw. I think he should be making a pro move soon. Carson Ripkoff from Kitchener is amazing talent that they drafted last year in the second round. Edward Sale was underrated, who they took in the first.
Oh, yeah, so we both loved Edward Sale. Yeah,
they make some good picks, so this one should be good.
Here we go. Matty Beniers is the one making the selection. It's another great player for them, too, by the way. Didn't even talk about him, but man, has he just blossomed.
Yeah.
And they take him, Berkeley Catton.
Oof.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Danny, you better be picking up the phone, buddy. Berkeley Catton goes to the Seattle Kraken. Man, I'll tell you what, that is going to be a major pick for them. Oh, my gosh, man. Playing for the WHL, the Spokane Chiefs. This kid's got all the tools, man. I'm here to tell you.
54 goals, 62 assists for 116 points this year in the WHL. Can you imagine him still on a line with Yager Furcus soon? I mean, or Matty Beniers? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's sick. Woo! Yeah, man. This kid definitely knows how to put the biscuit in the basket, that's for sure. But he's a good skater, though, too. Pays attention to detail, is able to take on those players and protect the puck and do those things that you need him to do. I mean, also good in the face-off dot, too. So, going to be looking to see this kid making an immediate impact as well, too, because we thought for sure he was going to go sooner.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people
I'd have
had him
picked
as a
him over.
top
I'd have
five
picked him
talent.
over Iginla. I'd have picked
Yeah,
him over Iginla. I'd have picked him probably over Lindstrom.
Senek. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'd have
What
picked
if
him
you?
over
What
all
are
them
these?
guys.
Yeah, Lindstrom. I mean, Lindstrom's a big, strong center, but
I would have
man,
taken
like,
him soon. Yeah. That's what I mean. I'd have taken Catton better. You know what I'm saying, or sooner than some of those other players. But hey, that's why we're sitting over here on this side of the mic.
well, there's a reason, like we said, why some of these teams are picking from the same position every year and never really getting better. But
Maybe they should listen to
wow,
us on this side of the mic. Yeah, I got to tell you, man.
yeah.
I'm kind of blown away here by some of this
Yep.
stuff,
Ron
man.
Francis is killer. Like he knocks it out of the park with his draft picks. And I wasn't sold on some of the picks when they initially built their team, but they built a team and not just a bunch of good players that they could have took for certain teams. They selected a team that they immediately had a good roster and a competitive roster that didn't take time. And now with these draft picks that they're getting, man, they're going to be good, man. They're going to be a team to mess
Look who
with.
they got drafted for him. Ron Francis. Come
That's what I'm
on.
saying.
This guy
Yeah,
knows how to put teams together.
he's a smart mind there, for sure. Now, it's interesting what the heck Calgary is going to do here with Tage Lagar on Carter Yakimchuk's gone. Who is necessarily left?
Well, you've got the Zeev Buium. You've got Perka, which we've been talking about. Now I think you're going to have to start seeing like the Trevor Connollys, the Sam Dickinsons. Now we've already seen Berkey Catton and T. Ginla. Now maybe we're going to see Michael Haig. You know what I mean? We've seen Carter Yamchuk go too. Can the Flyers hold out at 12, or can we get a move up? Or
Man, I think Yzerman could be a nasty prospect to draft here because Magna Payne was a great player for them that's put in a lot of offense, and they just kind of let him go. I don't know. I like what the Calgary did last year. They got our guy Moran.
Yeah.
In the second round.
Yeah, Etienne Morin. Oh my gosh, that guy, 48th overall was another interview on Prospect Watch. Go over to steelflyers.com/link/Prospect Watch to check out that video.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. I hope that they go defense here and
Slavov, how do you say his name? Anton Slavov.
Yeah, I really hope that Calgary doesn't take Yzerman here. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to hold off now until 12.
Anton Siliev would be a good pick for them as a defense. He did play for
defender.
The KHL.
Really big defender. Yeah, I mean, they need offensive defensemen. They need two-way guys.
Yeah.
I think that is a big need for them. But and a lot of the flashy guys are gone, but Yzerman's still there and can put up a lot of points, and that's what scares me.
Well, we're going to find out here in a few moments with pick number 9. The Calgary Flames select. Oh, they did it. They did it. Zane
Correct.
Perica, defense. They did go defense, right? They did go defense, right? The Saginaw Spirit, great player, OHL. Look, we watched this team play in the championship, right? And we watched them win in the championship, right? That was an amazing game, and this young player right here was a huge reason why they won that game.
For sure. For sure. I mean, offensively, oh my gosh, this kid is a talent. And I mean, what else does he have to prove in the OHL? In my mind, nothing. You scored 96 points in the OHL, 33 goals for a defenseman. Um, I'm thinking now, granted, it's, sitting here at ninth overall, but man, I don't see why he would necessarily go back. He's not the biggest of guys, but that's part of his game, right? Like, I mean, he's able to move around the ice. I wouldn't want him putting on too terrible much weight. I don't want him to get injured, but um, man, it's getting down here. We need some more crazy picks like Senek, and stuff for the Devils and the Sharks now, so that we can.
I don't think New Jersey is going offense. I'll be honest with you on that, wholeheartedly. And you know what name is really kind of being thrown at me, or that's really kind of sticking out to me, is Liam Greentree. He just kind of seems like he might be that player that they might take. I mean, I don't know, you know what I mean, but um, he maybe might be, you know what I mean. You could also, depending on how they want to go, you know what I mean. I think they've got a good core of offensive players there now, and I especially think with the new coach that's going to be going on there in New Jersey, right? We're going to see some different things going on here, so I really think they're going to probably go defense. At least that's what I'm thinking they're going to do. With the last few years of them going very offensive heavy.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Hughes, and they went out and got Timo Meyer. Dawson Mercer is a guy they picked up. Curtis Lazar is a guy they traded for. All big time moves that really helped them. On defense, you got Luke Hughes, Dougie Hamilton, but Simon Nichuk that they just got. So they've had draft picks, right? They've had a ton of draft picks. I love Seamus Casey. I was a big fan of his that they took back in 2022. Played with Michigan and looked really good. This year, man, they've got some great talent in the system, and they develop it really quick. And man, they could go anywhere. They could go with the best available player, and that's left on the board in that sense, because
but
they went out and got their goalie. That was the main thing. That they needed,
I agree.
Was a goalie, and they needed one since Brodeur has left, and they haven't been able to find one. So,
and man, with them landing Markstrom,
is that guy.
With them landing Markstrom, I really think that's going to change New Jersey instantly. Right, because we saw how they were not last year, but the year before, where they were, in the playoffs, had made the biggest jump in points, went from like 60 some points the previous year to 93 some points or so. Not last year, but the year before. Now, last year they had a big drop off because I think it was exactly that. It was the goaltending. They had a lot of injuries. You know what I mean? They fired Lindy Ruff. They're gonna have new coach jumping off here. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking they go defense. They got two big defensemen on the board, and Sam Dickinson and Anton Silvier, the big 6'7" Russian.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking. That's who I was
thinking. Darren Dreger's out here saying that he would say they would select Silvier. That would be great. if they did.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Take one
Can
of those
they?
guys.
Could you guys select them?
Yeah, can you please take a defenseman, please? Um, man, I'll tell you what.
This is. Are you like
If
biting
they
your
select a
nails?
defenseman,
Are you biting your
and
nails yet? Right? Are you sweating a
yes,
little bit yet?
yes, because I mean, I've been right about who the Flyers pick in the first round for the past couple drafts, and I this year I picked Cole Iserman, and for good reason. He can put the puck in the back of the net, and he would instantaneous make their system better here. But
Oh,
man,
come on, New Jersey! Don't let us down! Don't let us down! Select a defenseman.
I think they need a big body
Yeah, I
defenseman
do too. I
to
do
to
too.
clear the porch in front of Markstrom.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That is
And
their
that's
guy.
exactly
They
who
need
they
to.
picked. That's exactly who they picked. Anton Saleoff,
Yep.
the big
Okay.
defenseman. Oh my gosh! Holy
Yes.
moly, this
Yes.
guy is
Yes.
huge.
Guy is huge. Skates amazingly. Like I said, 6'7", 207. Chara size, but can skate like a
yeah,
dynamic forward.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Not going to produce a bunch of points, but that is not his job. That is not
Right,
his key, right?
defense.
Plays, 18, playing in the KHL already, was not even on people's big boards at all before the season started this year, and just jumped up playing. Obviously, the guy's 6'7". Scouts are gonna look at him, right? But you know, man, that is great pick for the Flyers right now. They have essentially one pick in front of them
And it's
now,
San Jose.
where San Jose, man, going back, like
Okay, but
they took a forward already, the best forward in the draft already. So, man.
okay. So now the next best defenseman left on the board, right, is either going to be Zeev
And
Buium.
Steve Bonham, University of Denver, I think if they do get him, he can slot in right away for them if they wanted him to, potentially another year. But, he has nothing else to prove in the NCAA either. He wins everywhere he goes.
Exactly. The only other name that I could think of on defense would be the Sam Dickinson selection.
Yeah, I think they take, the winner. Well, both of them are winners. London Knights, he's there with the London Knights. Sam is, and they won the OHL championship, and Denver won the NCAA championship. So both are proven defenders here. If we can talk them up, and let the Flyers be able to select Cole Iserman, they had talks with him initially. They've had additional talks with him. They like this kid. Other teams have been steering away, thinking he's kind of got an attitude problem, but the kid can just score goals. So, man, this is an intense moment here. I could essentially be right for the third pick of the Flyers back to back to back when they actually have first round picks. Man.
We've talked about it on our draft shows. We've talked about it in Lance's articles. We saw that Danny Briere, we both very much like everything that he's done so far with this club and trying to make this team better. And this would be unprecedented in the heralds of SteelFlyers All Sports Network. The fact that San Jose is going to have a second pick here so much, within the top 10 is crazy. And I really think we're going to get them to pick a defenseman here. They've got another minute and 5 seconds left.
It's the longest minute of my life here. Oh my gosh. I swear, guys, if the Flyers do get their guy, my choice, and Cole Iserman. Him and Mishkov are going to be amazing together for a long time to come.
Can you imagine them two guys?
The TV play, yeah. Mishkov plays center and right wing. Cole's in left winger. Oh my gosh!
Tyson
oh
Forster.
My gosh. Yep.
I like Tyson Forster on that. Oh man!
Well,
come
on.
Come on! One time.
I said I picked Forster as my pick.
I know.
Back in 2020 for the Flyers to take with their first pick at 23, and I took Cutter Gauthier as that pick in 2022, and said that they should draft him. He was the best available offensive talent at that time. You know what happened with him, but oh my gosh, guys, this is a franchise-changing move for the Flyers right now, depending on who the Sharks take. Who did they move up and want to select ahead of the Flyers? This is the scary part. If
they picked Sam Dickinson, they picked the London Knight defenseman from the OHL. The San Jose Sharks picked Sam Dickinson with the 11th overall pick. Oh, snip, snap.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. The Flyers, come on, boys.
Woo! Hey, guys, by the way, I believe his name is Cole Iserman, just in case y'all don't know how to pronounce it. Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh. If the Flyers get Cole Iserman, he is essentially the best scorer in this draft, the purest scorer in this draft, behind Macklin Celebrini. But, this kid has scored 58 goals in 57 games this year for 89 points. Wow. Come on, man. Come on, Flyers.
Dude, if this happens, man, oh my gosh.
Oh.
All right. Okay. So, Flyers are on the clock. Okay, officially, Flyers are on the clock.
Listen, right. Cole Iserman has scored for Team USA 127 goals in his Team USA career, outscoring Cole Caulfield, Phil Kessel, Patrick Kane, Will Smith, Austin Matthews, Ryan Leonard, Jack Hughes, you name it. Cole Iserman is the purest goal scorer in this draft. The Flyers have to do right and select him.
Come on,
Danny. My gosh.
Come on, Danny. Come on now. Now they're showing the Flyers. They're showing the Flyers now. The assistant general manager.
Yes.
Okay. Flyers are on the sphere now. They got 2 minutes and 44 seconds left for this pick. It's all orange inside that dome, and oh man! But I got to tell you something though. Playing for those London Knights, man, Sam Dickinson is the real deal. He is going to be an immediate impact player for the San Jose Sharks. Watching him play alongside of Oliver Bonk, watching them play in the championship games. Yeah, they lost to the Saginaw Spirit, but I'm going to tell you what, that was a game of the ages. That game was so back and forth and so on the edge of your seat watching. I'm here to tell you, this kid is definitely going to be something that is San Jose Sharks are going to fall in love with this guy. He's got all the skills. He's got the right tools. He's definitely going to make an impact in San Jose.
Oh, I feel sick to my stomach, Steel. Oh, my gosh.
He's getting up now. They're walking up. 1 minute, 48 seconds and counting. Oh, my gosh.
For them not to have to move up here and still have the chance to select this young man.
You better pick him. You better pick him. You better pick him, because... Oh, he's on the phone? What are you doing on the phone?
maybe calling him.
Dude, what are you doing on the phone, man? Nah, man. Oh, don't you dare, Danny. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Oh, man, 1 minute left. No! We don't want to move back. We don't want to move back. We don't want to move back. We wanted to move forward. We couldn't do that, so we don't want to move back. Right? Maybe with our later pick, but not with this one. We need this pick. Come on, Danny. We need this pick. 34 seconds left. Walk up to the stage. Walk up to the mic and go. The Philadelphia Flyers select. Come on, man. Oh, jeez. 10 seconds left. Well, he's not on the phone anymore. Oh, no. Oh, no. No! He's not getting up. He is not getting up. They're still sitting. Why are you still sitting? The time has expired. They haven't gotten up. He talked to somebody, and then now he's back on the phone
coming.
again.
Some movement coming here with a 12th pick. Trade coming.
Oh, no!
Darren Dreger.
Don't you dare, man.
Dealing Danny better get a player that can play right now and be an elite level talent. Why on earth are we not making this pick here and getting the best offensive talent in this draft?
They're
Pure
not
goal
getting
scorer
up.
right here.
Lance, they're not getting up. The time has expired. It has been expired. They're not announcing anything. They're not. Danny Briere and Kerr are still sitting there. Is there like some kind of technical glitch, difficulty, or something? Why isn't he getting up and making this pick? What? Nothing, man. We got nothing. There's nothing.
Why on earth? What is this trade that is occurring that right before we came on, they spoke to Cole Iserman. The Flyers reportedly spoke to Cole Iserman and swore that they loved this kid, and if he was there, they would try to pick him. You know, I know they wanted Demidov, but clearly he's not there, and maybe that's why they're sitting back and maybe willing to trade back a little bit. But to who? To where? Like, how far are you willing to go back that you think Iserman is still going to be on the board? A game-changing player like that is still going to be on the board. Why would you not just take the best goal scorer in this draft?
This better be blockbuster. This better be blockbuster.
It better be a first-line player in my mind. or you better take every single bad contract we have on the freaking team and get rid of it for us. But I would still rather take this pick and give me Cole Yzerman. He's the highest scoring player in this draft with 58 goals. Berkeley Canton, who was already taken ahead of him, only scored 54 goals this season. Tage Aginla only scored 47 that was taken before him. Macklin Celebrini only scored 32 goals this year. Like, why on earth are the Flyers not selecting Yzerman? Minnesota moves up to 12 in a trade with the Flyers for 13 and a 2025 third-round pick. Damn that third-round pick.
The Wild better not take him.
A third-round pick? That's what we're not... Oh my gosh.
Who do you think the Wild are going to select? They called him. They called him. So they clearly want somebody that they don't.
They're falling back for one pick. Danny Briere is pick hungry. Damn that third-round pick in 2025. Because Minnesota needs goal-scoring center. They need a center, and they need offensive defense. Wow. Just wow. I'm glad they only moved back one. This is crazy.
Good gravy. I don't understand what. What are you doing, man? Why you got to be messing?
They took Riley Heidt last year.
Maybe Minnesota will take Trevor Conley.
Huh?
Maybe Minnesota will take Trevor Conley.
No. I mean that to sit there and pass up the best scoring player to, I don't know who's left on the board that they could possibly want.
You know who this is going to be, right? We already know who this is going to frickin' be.
But then who do the Flyers take? At this point, I would want Solberg. The big defenseman who's a wrecking force.
They took Zeev Byam.
Oh my.
The Wild took Zeev Byam from Denver.
Oh my. So the Flyers could fall back and get Yzerman now.
Can I just say that y'all better stand the frick up and walk your butts up to that podium?
Walk, run. Don't
run.
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 Oh my. Come
6
on.
foot, 186 pounds. He's from the United States or California. But man, played for Denver. They won the Frozen Four championship. Heck of a player. Heck of a good kid. Did all the things that you need to do. 11 goals, 39 assists for 50 points. Doing it right for University of Denver. Okay, now we can sweat again. We were all cheering. We were all like, yay, okay, no, wait a minute. We didn't take our guy. We get our man and a third. Woohoo! Cole Iserman. Danny knows magic. Well, I'll tell you what. To to get a third round pick for next year, and if we land Cole Iserman, then hey man, GM of the year. By the way, did you know that he got like a couple of votes this
He
past
should have.
year for
He
GM of the
should have.
year? Danny Briere did, yeah.
He definitely should have. Because I mean, they say what you want about him at the last 2 weeks of the season, but he came in with having to solve a lot of problems there, and you know,
He's just taken each bad pitch that's come, and he's pretty much knocked it out of the park, man. I mean, everything that has happened with the Ivan Provorov, I think that was the put the league on notice that hey, we're not here to mess around anymore. You know, we're serious about what's going on and what we're trying to do here in Philadelphia, and we're changing some things, and let's go. You know what I mean? If y'all want to do it, then let's do it. If not, then let's go. Danny, please walk up to that podium. What? Why aren't you getting up? What are you waiting for, man? What?
come on, man, Cole Iserman, take him,
Stand your butt
take
up.
take this player. Oh my gosh, the kid puts goals in like crazy.
I mean, they got him listed now. There you
He's
go. I mean,
he scored 1.56 points per game, almost averaged a goal per game, uh, over a goal per game, playing against some of the toughest competition in the USHL and other games around. I mean, if this is the pick here, that means that for the third straight year, the Flyers
well,
have had a first round pick.
wait. Let's wait till after this happens
Come
first.
on. Come on.
Because we did
Just
that
pick
the
'em.
last time, and then they made a trade.
Just
So
pick them. Well, we got a third round pick out of it again, but I think I lost a year of my life.
I
Oh,
think
my
so
heart.
too. I do agree. I think I
Oh,
got like 10 or 15 more gray hairs just instantly came in.
I don't
Yeah,
know if I
right?
could get any more, but oh my, come on, Flyers. This is an amazing,
1
amazing
minute.
spot to be in. The Flyers could not trade up.
They
Tried and
traded
tried and
back
tried.
one. I don't understand the trade back of one unless that was something that uh
Minnesota had to say, like, please let us take Zeev. We know you could possibly do it. Like, he's our guy.
yeah.
We'll give you this. Okay, we'll do that. That's not the guy we're going to select. Like, they had to have some kind of notion that they wanted Zeev. They've had to be just flabbergasted that he was actually still there, and Minnesota was willing to not wait one more pick for that to happen.
So that is a 13th overall pick and a 2025 third round pick. So they get the 13th pick tonight, and then they get a 2025 third round pick.
Come
So
on, Flyers. What
time
are
is
you
up.
doing?
Time is up.
Let's go.
Stand up. Get walking, boys. They're still not getting up. Now we got Keith Jones standing and Danny Briere standing and the jersey. Finally! And Dan Helferty, the leadership group is now heading to the stage. Oh my gosh. Hey, Lance. Hey, if you get this one right, we got to go to dinner or something and celebrate. You know what I mean?
There's been a lot of work in this, guys. A
I
lot
know.
of work, a lot of studying,
A lot of research.
a lot of tape, a lot of research.
It's is it the guy that's Michael Buffer, the guy that's Let's Get Ready to Rumble?
Yeah.
Is that who that is? That's who is going to announce the pick for the Flyers? Really?
Season playoffs and the fantastic 7-game World Championship Stanley Cup Final was a magnificent display of the excitement and talent that is the National Hockey League. Now, it's an honor for me to be a part of this.
I don't even want to think about anybody else still, like who they could take.
For me, it is a
Don't even want to think about it.
Next selection for my hometown, Philadelphia Flyers. So, ladies and gentlemen,
because I mean, Constance Halinas has been there, rumored out of the Liga.
With the 13th pick in the first round, the city of brotherly love welcomes the Philadelphia Flyers selection, weighing in officially at 187 pounds, standing tall at 5 feet 11, from the Guelph Storm, he is Jet Luchenko!
Jet Luchenko.
Jet?
Yep.
Oh my God! What in the heck? Jet Luchenko? This kid has scored 20 goals and 74 points in the OHL for the Gallup. Like, really? This is the kid you take? He wasn't even projected until like the late 20s. Before the combine, he wasn't even in the first round. He can skate really fast. That's what he can do. He skates around like a jet.
Well,
Are you
that's
serious?
just peachy.
I'm done. What in the heck? Why were you trying to move up if that's all you were going to do? You must have wanted Demidov to pair with Mishkov, but man, I'm done. I'm done. What in the heck? That is a guy they could have fell back to 25 and selected.
I mean, they could have picked him with their second first round pick.
Yes.
Well, I guess the only other thing we could hope for is that their final first round pick is a little better than that one. What I got to tell you, Lance, I'm flabbergasted, man. I am so flabbergasted. This guy was not even on the bloody radar.
Nowhere on the big board, even close yet. Really?
You move down for this guy. Well,
the kid can skate really fast.
So what?
Are we now the Oakland Raiders? Like, just pick people because they're fast? The kid scored.
He's not even listed as the best
goals.
one. He's not even listed as the best forward.
This year.
I just don't understand. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? You know, Lance, this is yeah, they got lucky last year, and what I mean by got lucky is that if the contract for Michkov would not be ending and he would not be here, okay, I think that the Flyers would be drafting differently. Maybe they would have gotten the Cole Eiserman instead of this freaking guy.
So Cole Eiserman scored 1.1 goals a game. He's guaranteed a goal a game. Jet put up 0.29 goals per game.
And wait, let's see. Are they even the? Yeah, even Cole Eiserman is taller. Cole Eiserman is 2 inches taller, right, than Jet. So it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why this would be the player that they're selecting. They must have seen something that we didn't. I mean, we watched a lot of tape on a lot of kids. You know what I mean? And this was
I'm
not
not
even
trying to
on the
take anything
radar.
away from the kid, but you have the best scorer in the draft sitting there and you pass him by.
Well, 11 other teams have too so far, Lance. So there must be something
And
else,
6 other passed up on Mishkov.
right? But I think and look, like I said, I think they got really stupid lucky last year, right? They had an opportunity to select some players that could have been an impact right away. Do you know what I mean? Instead of taking a player that was potentially going to be in Russia for the next 2 or 3 years, where you weren't even going to see him. The fact that you're seeing him this year, I think, drastically changed the thought in the room about what the team needed. Do you know what I mean? And I think this was a bit of a misstep. Okay, I've really liked everything that they've done. I was a little bit scratching my head on some of the draft picks from last year because I really feel that some of those picks that they didn't select based off of what they did select and then how those players are now playing in their respective leagues and everything else, I really think that some of those players are going to bite them from that they didn't select that they had an opportunity to select last year. And if they pass on a Cole Eisman type player, I think that's going to bite them again. You know what I mean? Because you got teams like Washington and New Jersey's another team that would be love to scoop up a player like that, and now suddenly he's against us, or even Pittsburgh for that matter. You know what I mean? So uh, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't get it. Buffalo's pick is in, and they are selecting. There it goes. Who's the guy? Lindy Ruff, the coach, is making the selection for Buffalo. What is this now? His third stint with them?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's his second. Oh,
Costas
they took
Helenas.
Constea Hellenius.
Costas Helenas, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this is the guy the Flyers, talked about taking a serious look at, from the Liga, and scored 14 goals and 36 points. Mostly a center, a winger at times.
He's the same size too. 5'11", 186, 189 pounds. Same size, you know what I mean, as Jet. So, okay.
He's a two-way center, makes a
Yeah.
lot of plays. Like,
I mean, he played for Finland for the in the World Championships, you know what I mean? So, man, I'll tell you what. Well, so what does this say now? The fact that we covered Cole Eiserman, the Flyers clearly are not. Do you know what I mean? So now, where do you think we look at for the
unless
Flyers for their final pick here in the first round, 32nd? I mean, it's the last pick in the first round. If Cole Eiserman is available at that point, I think you clearly have to take him. Do you know what I mean? I mean, otherwise you're kind of running out of you're kind of running out of names here, guys. You know what I mean? You still got Green Tree out there who could potentially be something. You still got Julius Metinen is another one. Michael Haig is another one. So there's still some offense out there, but you know,
Detroit's on the board right now. I think they go Michael Bradsing Nygaard right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Nygaard.
I'm with you on
You
that.
know,
Yeah,
I really think that they're a team that, loves those type of players. Um, and, those and aren't afraid to pick, those Swedish guys, those foreign guys from all different places in the world, and they seem to come in there and just gel all together. Very
exactly.
competitive guy, 6'1", 198 pounds, really strong on the forecheck, great hockey IQ. He's got a little grit to his game. His totals are not his point totals are not the highest, but he's going to be like your third line center.
They could also go Igor Chera Chernesyov, Cherneshov, Chernichov, Chernichov, Okay, yeah, the
Chernzov.
Igor.
I like Solberg too.
Yeah,
I really like Solberg in that sense. But who knows? I mean, Yzerman's a smart man, and he can talk a lot of sense to players. If there's something, that these players or these management don't like about Cole Yzerman, and have found something that they've shared with everybody, and that's why he's falling this far. Um, I think a place like Detroit, that's an original six team, has an amazingly strong leadership from even past players coming in and everything like that. They could help mold him to be the player that, besides just his talent. But
well, we'll see here because they got a minute 20 left, and
I just can't fathom, Steel, that Jet was taken by the Flyers that early.
I have to say, like I said, man, I think that's kind of a disappointment as far as I'm concerned.
That is
The
a real disappointment.
Yeah, we didn't see this one coming at all. In fact, nobody did. So we will see here, I guess. What happens here with all this happy stuff here? So let's see. I'm just checking something right now, but Detroit is walking up for their pick. So we will see what they get. There's another name out there that we weren't exactly expecting, and that's Ryder Ritchie.
Well, Ryder Ritchie's there, like you said. Liam Greentree's a guy who's a big body guy as well. Put up 36 goals and 90 points this year. He's a little underrated. I had him as early on this season. Was talking about him. I thought he would be a top 10 pick. And with those kind of numbers, I would think he'd be a little bit higher than he is still sitting on the board. Especially since he's got this NHL frame at 6'2", 214.
Yeah. Wow, Nicholas Lindstrom is going to make the selection. He's the president of hockey ops for Detroit.
And that's what I'm saying. having all those guys still
You were
within
right.
their
You were
Red
right.
Wings.
Michael Brandes-Egnigerd is who they
Yeah,
selected. So yeah, that's right up
yeah,
their alley from Sweden.
yeah. That guy has Detroit all over them. You know, in that sense, and makes a lot of sense going there. I think he could go to no better place. For him being a young forward,
Forward, yeah.
trying
Good
to
place to
trying to
learn.
make it.
Yeah.
That is a team that consistently drafts those players
Exceptionally
well.
well. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a good one here. Um, um, in 41 games, he has 8 goals, 10 assists, but does the right things, has a good attitude, is able to play in the right areas. You know what I mean? Is responsible. So I mean, um, I think he's one of those kids that is going to be a year or two away.
mhm.
Do you know what I mean? From
Oh, for
being,
sure, yeah.
yeah,
And Detroit's got so many picks stacked back with Nate Danielson, Alex Sedin Pellikka, who I really liked last
yep,
year,
yep,
Noah Downer Nielsen, from Sweden as well. Marco Casper still in the mix there. All Swedish players. He's gonna have an amazing setup for him coming over. Lucas Raymond, Simon Edvinson, all these guys, are guys that are going to help this young forward, transition to the NHL. But now we get the Blues on the board at 16. Um, you know, I I still think the Flyers should move up here to somewhere. Some of these teams that are playoff teams now, they are, and I think the Blues might do something different. But if Washington's there, they're going to snatch up Iserman and not even think twice about it. Um, and Chicago as well. Um, they went. Chicago went already and took the defenseman. They will gladly take another top scoring offensive talent to
all
go
day long,
alongside,
all day long.
Connor Bednar.
Yep. That
So
would
the
be a
Flyers they need to switch. They need to trade up and get the 16th pick or something and get the guy they should have took in the first place.
I mean, I'm
Um,
so with you on that, my man. I really think that's one of those things.
Jet. Oh man.
Yeah, so who had that on their mock draft this year?
I mean, he shot up the draft boards, but even
Only very recently, like within the last
yeah,
week or so.
and the kid can skate fast. That's great, but the kid scored 20 goals, and you got a guy that scored almost 3 times that, and you don't take him.
Well, a lot of other folks are not taking him either. Do you know what I mean? So maybe there is that fear of that little bit of attitude. I think that might actually affect Trevor Conley too, based off of what happened at the World Junior Championship, where he took that really dumb penalty and basically cost the United States a gold medal. Do you know what I mean by taking that 5 minute major penalty that was
Yeah,
completely unneeded? I mean, I feel bad for the kid, but that might be affecting him as well because he has dropped, still hasn't been
yeah.
selected. Do you know what I mean? And you would think he'd be another one that would go sooner rather than later.
But then you had Cole Iserman, who scored 9 goals in 7 games in the World Juniors and still is off the board. So I don't know.
Hey, that's why Lance and I sit on this side of the microphone, which, by the way, gosh, I know there's not a lot of people out there watching, so thank you all very much for checking it out. But this was just a kind of a trial run to see if we could do this, and I think it's going off really well. I mean, as far as technically, we were able to do this without. I mean, this was something that we have strived to do since we started doing this, and
Hmm.
now here we are finally getting in a live show here, and it's the 2024 NHL Draft from Las Vegas, Nevada, and Flyers traded down to get 13th and also a third round pick in 2025, and now Philadelphia has the 32nd pick in the first round, but man, they took a guy that nobody thought they would take, and there's still some very talented young players on the board left right now that the Flyers should seriously consider trading that final pick of the first round to move up and get their guy that they should have gotten in 13. So we'll see, because St. Louis is getting ready to pick right now, and their selection is, wait for it, Adam Juracek. So they got the defenseman from the Czech Republic, right? That's another good man. That kid got it going on, man.
Yeah, I mean, related to Juracek, already, it's got blood in the NHL right now, and a good solid defenseman there. You know what you're getting, and you've seen what his bloodline is doing in the NHL right now. So,
Exactly.
pretty smart pick for them. They needed offensive and they needed defense. Like, they needed offensive defensemen, they needed two-way defensemen, they just needed defensemen, and
Right.
they got it.
Yeah.
So
But this guy's at least another year away.
yeah, I would
I
think
think,
so.
because he's very light. Even though he's tall, he needs to put on a little bit of pounds to be more of of a defenseman, especially if you're going to be playing in St. Louis against some of those um, tough Western Conference teams that they play against. You're going to need to be a little bit thicker. He's got the length and everything like that, and the reach and the size, but you need some poundage on there, man, because at that size, at 167 pounds, that's woo. Here, man, have a couple sandwiches.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so who we got now? Caps.
Caps next.
I'm solely thinking they take Iserman. They're not going to let um, somebody like
Philadelphia
that
take that
pass.
player. They're gonna do what they did last year and stick it to the Flyers again.
Oh, that they're going to stick it to the Flyers. They're pretty good at that. They've done that with Ryan Leonard, who we should get. Um, they did that again in the second round with Andrew Crystal, who we thought was one
Who
of
we
our
thought
top
should have
favorite
been, yeah,
players. Was an amazing talent there. They did that before with Ivan Miroshchenko,
yep,
the Russian player there, who's only just breaking into the NHL now, but amazing, amazing offensive talent that we talked about last year, or the 2022
yep.
as well. So they pick up what other people leave laying around, and profit off of it. So I would think that is their guy. Um, they need some goaltending, I think, but
Yeah,
there's not one yet. I think that they'll
but I
do
also
that with.
think too that they need some forwards because they're
They
getting a
need some
lot
help.
older.
They are
Yeah,
getting very, very old. They've dealt away so many picks in the past, just to survive and give Ovechkin and that core group another shot at winning a Stanley Cup. But that thought is slowly dying. They're
I think
still
that
holding
ride's
on.
over. I
They're
think that
still
ride's
holding
over.
on to the fact that Ovechkin can break Wayne Gretzky's goal scoring record, and I think he will, in a year, maybe two. But you know, if we're talking championships, they are just as much of a rebuilding team as the Flyers are right now. In my mind, because at least they have elite level talent, and it's just getting old. in
Yeah, yeah.
Ovechkin, but
No. I'm with you. I'm with you on that for sure.
yeah,
With Oshie constantly being hurt, and getting much older now as well,
yeah.
and of course Ovechkin, and then once you get past them two guys, then what? Then you're running out. They had some really good picks last year and the year before. I think they're exactly going to do exactly what you're talking about here, Lance. Either him or even maybe Trevor Connolly might even be on the books for them. So we'll see how this goes for the Capitals. They've got 30 seconds, and then they will be sauntering up to the podium or the bench, or unless they're gonna make a trade. Or I mean, wouldn't that be nice to hear a trade?
If
Hear a
the
trade.
Flyers are
Excuse
gonna
me.
do it, they should do it now.
Yeah, I
Go
mean,
get their guy.
yeah, but nope, they're standing up. So the Capitals are gonna announce their guy here. So we'll see how this goes. Do you
Let's
think
see
they?
who we got.
Do you think they go? You think they go offense or defense?
I think they go offense.
You think
You
so?
got you got Eiserman, you got Trevor Conley there, you got Liam Greentree still on the board. All those guys, Greentree would be a fit for them, a grinder
Nope.
as well.
Nope. Tarek Parasic. Parashkak.
Oh,
Par.
from Prince George,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh, High level scoring winger, great skater, very very stealthy
Parash.
guy, a shooting threat, like
Paraskak.
amazing um, offensive talent. Scored a ton of points. A little bit on the light side.
179
40,
pounds, 6 foot.
yeah, 43 goals, 105 points for Prince George's this year. He played with a lot of older players, though. This is a reach too. This is a guy who a lot of teams had like maybe 30, 31, something like
Yeah,
that
like he's not
on the
even.
very tail end
Yeah,
of the
yeah. He's
first
way down
round.
on the
So
list.
so this is a guy that, you're probably gonna sit around and wait for another year or two at least. I mean, you're getting to that point in the middle of the first round now, where we're heading towards the later parts now. So it's a high scoring player. Man, like what on earth do people know that we don't? Why was there something in his medical jacket, something that he's going to need some a surgery or something? I didn't see him get hurt at Worlds. Like, why is Cole Eiserman slipping?
I mean, Jet was projected at 20th, right?
Yeah,
And uh, per Paraskak was rated at 15. So I mean, he went 16th or 17th. So I mean, it wasn't that far off. So we'll see how. Uh, Most points among 17-year-olds. Okay,
yeah,
guy
he was one
had
of the youngest players in the
116.
draft for sure.
He had 105 points, man, for the season for the WHL. That's no slouch. Okay, now that's no slouch. So Chicago is now on the clock with the 18th overall selection in the 2024 NHL
They
Draft. I
they
am your
definitely take
co-host Ron
offense here.
SteelFlyers, and this is Lance Green, your major host here for the Hockey Writers Inc. This is our live edition of the 2024 NHL Draft that is happening in Las Vegas. We are not currently in Las Vegas, so we have been bringing you here the first round of the NHL Draft, and we're gonna keep on keeping on here until looks like the
So
bitter end.
so here we go. Tanner Howe, right? Tanner Howe, Regina Pats, uh, line mate of their star player right now in Connor Bedard. Why would they not go out and get him?
I mean, okay. You think that's what they're going to do?
I mean, there's other names out there, but you know, I think that that is a very reasonable. Now, Tanner Howe is a generally in my mind a second round talent. He had 28 goals and 77 points this year, but familiarity. Um, they were electric together when they played for Regina, and last year he had 36 goals and 49 assists for 85 points when he was playing with Connor Bedard the previous year. So
That makes a lot of
that
sense, man.
that would
That
make
that
a lot
makes
of
a lot of
sense.
sense. Yeah.
That would make
I
a lot
mean,
of
why
sense,
not?
but still with Cole Iserman, Trevor Conley, and Liam Greentree on the board, um, I think that name is some. There's names out there. I think they go offense for sure here.
The Blackhawks, yeah.
The
'Cause,
Blackhawks do. I would think they go offense. They got their defenseman that can step in and play right now.
then again, they could also go with Michael Haig, who plays for the Chicago Steel,
Mhm.
hometown.
I was just
Uh,
getting ready to say that too. Guy right in their backyard. 33 goal scorer, 42 assists, 75 points this past year. I was just talking to the Chicago Steel about another individual to get on Prospect Watch, and hopefully we can get some of their players because they're amazing, amazing players that they
yeah,
bring in
it's a
there.
good
They are a
program
good
up there.
program for
Really good program.
sure.
Yep.
In the USHL, but a guy I'm kind of surprised I'm not seeing is Solberg from Norway.
Sasha
Big body
Sasha Bosever is the selection for Chicago, the
from
center from
Mishkunkin or whatever. Yeah,
Muskegon.
USHL.
Yep.
Yeah, 36 goal scorer, 32 assists, 68 points, 6'2", like 185.
Yeah.
Uh,
He
yeah,
for the Muskegon Lumberjacks, man. I'll
yeah.
tell you what. Uh,
Some
he's
definitely
he's ranked.
names that
He's 25th ranked on the one, and let me see what he's ranked on the other one here. Let's see. Yeah, he's ranked 16th on the other list that I have up here for the rankings, right?
yeah,
So I
he's a good
mean,
center.
yeah,
Uh, shoot first mindset guy.
right. 6'2",
Um,
182 pounds. He already has already has the body. Do you know what I mean? He could be in there. You know what I mean? Could be in there.
big body guy. A lot of people had some knocks on him about possibly being a little lazy, not wanting to work that hard. So I'm surprised he wasn't a little bit later. But
Okay.
his shot is such that justifies his selection there. Um, Again, I mean, we're doing this from the Flyers standpoint. Do they move up? In this they have
Maybe they don't need to, Lance. Maybe they won't
second
need
round
to.
talent, but there's still some players out there that are, you know,
I mean,
game changing players.
we're coming up here on pick 20, right?
Mm.
With 12 picks to go, with well, technically 13 with pick 20 coming up. So 13 picks left to go here, and I mean, the names are dwindling. Do you know what I mean? The names are dwindling here,
They are.
and I would really hate to see the first round go without the Flyers picking their guy, and I don't think Jet was their guy.
I don't think Jet is it. anybody's guy in the first round. I had him very high second round guy. That's where you take a guy, a one-dimensional guy who's very speedy. You can work
A
on a lot of
project.
things, but
Yep.
you can't teach that speed. Like that's one thing that you do. But yeah, I mean, I think offense is there to stay right now. Um, Man, I mean, you look down the list and you still got guys like Greentree out there. You got
Yeah.
guys like Haig. You got Conley out there. Um, you have the Russian still out there, who a lot of people are still high on. Uh, Kolbanaru from Barrier Colts. He had quite a few points. Andrew Basha, who I wrote about this year, 30 goal scorer for Medicine Hat Tigers. Um, you know, there's some names out there still. Ryder Ritchie, who we interviewed.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You know,
For sure. Even yeah, the Chernyetsyov or whatever the Russian. But the Vegas Golden Knights, the hometown team, is on the clock, and
still some exciting names. I like Charlie Elk. I like Dean Latourier, 127-point scorer there, 6'7" center. Um, some of these guys maybe picked that were thought to be second round guys
might end up being in the first round.
being
I mean,
selected now. Yeah,
we talked to John Mustard
yeah,
on Prospect Watch, and that kid is another prolific scoring threat, playmaker that really is able to just give you the full gambit of here's all the tool set. Let's go play and let's go win. I really get the sense of that with John Mustard. I mean, that would be we projected him maybe second round, but he's actually in some of the lists that I've seen have him listed at 32nd overall as far as his ranking in some of the draft ranks. So that could be a name that the Flyers could definitely select if they aren't going to get Cole Iserman. I would take a John Mustard on that all day long. You know what I mean? That would be a great name. I think that either we thought he could go as a late first round or early second round. You know what I mean? That would be the perfect slot for him. Would be the 32nd pick. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I mean, with some of the names still left on the board, it would not shock me at all if the if the Iserman name is not left on the board by the time the Flyers get to pick, and they don't select him. I think they're gonna take somebody like John Mustard or something like that, or a Ryder Ritchie or somebody. You know what I mean? It's something along those lines.
Oh man.
Well, at least I would. And I know you would too, Lance. So
They need goal scoring for sure. Vegas needs goal scoring. Center, right wing, left wing. They need goal scoring. They don't have a lot of depth
getting older.
offensively. They're getting older. A lot of the guys, they've had a lot of turnover. A lot of the guys that were there and took them to the winning it all. That or being at the brink and all are fading. They're getting traded away. There's a lot of turnover for a team that still manages to be in the playoffs every year. So
Yep.
it's
They
kind of
took Trevor
amazing in my mind.
Conley. They took Trevor Conley, the left
Okay.
winger from the Tri City USHL, played for the United States team in the championship. Trevor Conley, really good player, good skater, good scorer.
Good goal
Able
scorer,
to,
yeah.
yep, 6'1", 160 pounds. Um,
Little light.
little light. He's going to be a project, I think, for next year or the year after. He's going to probably have to go back and play one more year back. You know what I mean, just to try to put on some weight. But Trevor Conley, not a bad selection at all for the Vegas Golden Knights. I think they're going to really enjoy that selection. I think he's going to play well for them.
Yeah, I think he's has one of the better shots in this draft. Um, you know, kind of fell. He was thought to be a very high draft stock pick. Had a kind of run in where some social media problems. They posted something he probably shouldn't have.
Yep.
When he was very young. And of course, the teams are going to be digging stuff up. People are digging stuff up on these guys to see just who they are really selecting. Not, it's easy to see what the person is on the ice, and be that the case with some of these players that are falling in this draft. But when you really do your due diligence and you dig deep into some of these players' habits off the ice or whatever like that, or even
Yep.
on the ice, maybe not wanting to practice and thinking they're above the game to do that. That's why some of these players that we say are so amazing, why are they getting passed upon? Those are the things, and that's why Trevor Conley kind of fell. He regrouped. He buttoned his lip about it. He just went out there and played good hockey this season, for Tri-City, and now he's with a playoff contending team in their mix, and doesn't have to be necessarily the guy when he does come up and develop to be a pro.
Yeah.
He can be a good piece
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
not have that pressure on him that he would have.
No, I agree. I agree. And Lou Lamoriello is next on the clock for the Islanders, and we're looking at pick 20.
I
So
I like Lou. They need a center, big center. Team's
they
still out. Guys are still out there.
they have a lot of needs. You know what I mean? They were able to do exactly what the Flyers did or needed to do is what the Islanders did and got to 92 points this year. Do you know what I mean? If the Flyers would have gotten to 92 points and gotten the third seed in the division, do you know what I mean? They would have made the playoffs instead of what happened with the end of the season with the Flyers, the final 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever was just kind of downhill to say the very least. You know what I mean? But now we're
Could
getting
this
in.
be Michael Haig here
It could be,
from
or maybe
Chicago?
even Green Tree.
I think they need a center. I think they need a
Yeah,
center. So, um, Cole Bonadu from Barriers there's a center. Um, there's a couple out there,
yep. So there.
but lose a guy that doesn't really go along with whatever everybody else says, and he's made a name for himself and a legacy.
Clearly.
Uh, the guys that he's picked, I think Solberg would be my pick if I were him to solidify that defense and get just a nasty guy back there
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
that can
yeah.
hit like a Scott Stevens and stuff that paid so much dividends for him over the years.
Yeah,
Yeah, when he was in Jersey
yeah, I was just gonna
running the
say
show.
there's no there's no denying that, man. No denying that at all. Wow. Well, we've had Cryptic Cowboy is the only one watching with us.
Do you want to call it here soon?
Yeah, you think?
I mean, at this point, where nobody's.
Yeah, we got. Let me look here. Yeah. But I will say this though, man. We had 63 views, so it's gonna go up there. We're gonna have some views for this show. Okay, we just might not have seen all of them, but we're gonna have some views for the show. And we got the pick coming up here for the Islanders. Here it is. Do they take the Russian? I bet you they take the Russian. The Islanders. I bet you they do. Lou Lamoriello. That sounds like him.
He's surprising. Surprised there hasn't been more trades.
I agree. Well, that's how it was
Even
last year.
even
It
even
was
names like players. Cole Eiserman. Andrews Lee takes Cole's Eiserman.
yeah.
Another divisional team who now we have to sit back and watch as we pass by amazing talent to have to face every freaking night now.
Instead of him being on our team now, he's gonna be against us.
Yeah.
What a way to go! I don't even. Let's call it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with that.
Let's call it.
All right, well that was interesting. I think we did well filling, time and holes and everything in between picks.
So, Cryptic, we really appreciate you watching, buddy. But we're gonna call it a night. The guy that we didn't get wanted got selected by another team. It's also 9:30, and we've been on for an hour and a half now. So, thank you all very much for checking us out and tuning in. And hopefully, the Flyers can try to do some kind of redemption here with their 32nd pick. They didn't move up and get anything. I can't even imagine who they would select at 32. I don't get it. But anyway, I'm your co-host Ron SteelFlyers, and Lance is the big host with the most. And go out to SteelFlyers.com and check out all of the great stuff from the Hockey Writers Inc. Prospect Watch, the SteelFlyers All Sports Network. Thank you all very much for checking us out and tuning in. We will see you all in the next episode of the Hockey Writers Inc.